we're going to go ahead and plow through because we have San Diego Wave to talk about, because two of the San Diego teams, the residents of San Diego's Snapdragon Stadium, are being successful this season. Very successful this season. So far, this team now with San Diego FC is a team that, I mean, much like San Diego Wave on the other side, is finally coming up on people's radars as a potential competitor for not only the championship for the league, but Supporters Shield. Have you guys been paying attention to Supporters Shield races, at least in MLS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're very happy about that, because
Yep.
it actually seems like you did. Like it seems like you kind of like this came
Yep.
across your desk.
I was talking to Abe about it before the episode.
Look at how happy you are. I love this. Tell us more.
It's a thing. It's a thing where halfway through the season, or a little past halfway through the season, you wouldn't dare to say, all the experts, all the MLS experts had SDFC dead last in MLS, dead last in the West. And you wouldn't expect San Diego FC to even have a run or a chance at the Supporter Shield, let alone playoffs. I believe in this podcast, we kept saying that this team is either going to be really good or really bad. And you know what? We're right on that. Like, this team is really good. This team is a title contender. This team has potential to be Supporter Shield champions and potentially MLS Cup champions. Like, that's how good this SDFC team, and a lot of people underestimated. I think a lot of us underestimated them. Yeah, they made mistakes. Yeah, they got figured out a couple times, but they've kept to their style. They kept to every word they kept saying. Mikey Vadas kept preaching, we're going to stick to our style. We're going to find our identity. And they've done it well. They're third place in MLS, not just the West, in MLS.
That is absolutely true. Especially, yeah, that's what you get with two divisions, right? Like, you can be dominating in the West, but how does your team stack up against the other side when it really matters? And that's the thing with this style of tournament, right? Like, the regular season, normally this is the race right here. Like, right now, San Diego FC qualifies for Champions League, right? Like, right now, San Diego FC is in those upper echelons of teams in the nation. You don't get that necessarily with this because it's broken up into two, but there is kind of this other chip of like, yeah, right, Supporter Shield. There you go. But yeah, that's a cool little interesting tidbit. San Diego over, and look, not even 6th. That's how far they put him back in the Supporters Shield race. Minnesota's now in 8th after this victory. San Diego FC go over into what is it? The Midwest? No, it's definitely mid, right? Just mid.
I think it's the Midwest.
It's the mid.
Yeah, they don't really like Chicago's Midwest, so I guess Minnesota would also be the Midwest. Like, the only middle of America is like Kansas, I think. Really.
Yikes. All right, so a rotated squad. Obviously, there are players who are on international duty. Godoy, Chucky Lozano out injured. You have Patty McNair, who also was on international leave, but injured as well. So this kind of get this, what you got for a first team in players. CJ Dos Santos in the back, in the left back, left to right. Lucas Bombino, Chris McVeigh in the center back position. The return of Ian Pilcher. You have Verhoeven on the right. In the center mids, you have Sverskov in the usual slot for Luca de la Torre. You have Oni Valakari, who people have been asking, please put him in midfield. Get him out of that 9. Then you have on the other side, Alvarado, who is definitely almost that 1-to-1 switch. That's as much of a comparable player to Godoy as San Diego FC can potentially have. He has that flair. He tries to score amazing goals, just like Godoy. Don't actually quite go in, but that flair is still there. Up top on the left, Alex Maitin for the injured Chucky Lozano. Marcos Invarston returning once again to that starting position, and honors Dreyer in the right wing slot. This is what you got. Are you mad at it with what's on the bench and what we've seen recently from these players outside of potentially Milan Iloski? And if so, do you still agree with Marcus Invarston starting at this point with how this game eventually happened? Iloski doesn't get 2 without Invarston being there in the beginning. Would he have scored 2 if he starts? That's, up for debate, but I don't know who wants to start that on this lineup here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting, right? Because you get to see the difference that training under this style gets you to. Like Ian Pilcher, when what was it like early in the season when he started against Austin, looked awful, but then you play in this game and it's not as bad. Like these players are improving during training and they're learning. Alvarado looks a lot better now than he did in that same game against Austin as well. Like this guy's getting touches, this guy's getting more minutes, he's getting more confident. At the end of the day, it's what Mikey Varas is giving these players. He's giving them that confidence. It's two 18-year-olds in this backline, and I think Ian Pilcher's what, like 21, 22 maybe? Like this is a young defense with a 24-year-old goalkeeper. You see this starting earlier in the season, you're like, oh man, SDFC is about to lose like 5-0. But they win this game 4-2. Like I think it's impressive the level of the training that SDFC has implementing. And again, Oni Valakari, he can play at the 9, he can play in the center mid. He plays well in this match as well. Yepe back in the lineup. Finally, you've been needing him in that lineup. And again, Godoy not available through international duty. Like Godoy's a key player in that midfield, but Alvarado stepping up. You have Anders Dreyer. Is he going to play a full 90? Is he not going to play a full 90? Plays the full 90, scores 2 goals and assists. Like San Diego FC is a legit contender. They're a legit team.
I like that. Abe?
Yeah, I think you make a really good point with the young defense, but at the same time, like these young players, I think, aren't afraid to play this modern style of soccer where you're going to be passing the ball in the back and not really as focused on defending, and you have to clear it if anything bad happens. Like they've been comfortable. They're just letting them be comfortable, be themselves. These are people that are eventually going to be playing at like national team levels with Bombino, who's already doing that. Verhoeven also, I think, might play at the U20 level. So like giving these guys these confidence this early on in the MLS is like such a big deal, and it's going to be important in their development and like the development of San Diego FC. I know we all kind of thought like, okay, they're going to have young people. It's the right to dream stuff, but we didn't expect that year one. Like you expect, okay, you're going to have some people on loan. You're going to have a lot of different trades and stuff. You're an expansion team. It's going to look different, but just they're so committed to developing and growing and letting things like play out, letting things flow, which is annoying that their marketing fits so well, but it does. Like this team is flowing. Like they're on a really good level right now.
The Flow Riders, potential nickname. Again, Chrome Maniacs trying to find. Okay. We'll come up with something different, Abe, in your writings. All right. How about that? Huh? How about you dedicate an article to just a wacky team nicknames for SDFC?
You know what? I will.
You won't. You won't.
Okay. I won't then.
Do it.
Do it. Los promados.
Can we talk? Yeah, we'll talk about that's wow, incredible. Big win for San Diego FC versus Minnesota is that the fact that we won't have Berhalter because he will be on international duty as well for Vancouver. One thing that I want to know on this lineup is, I mean, very understated, but just kind of, realities of where San Diego FC is at. 2 goalkeepers on the bench, just in case, I guess. 2 goalkeepers on the active roster.
I was talking to Chiva about this at the game. Like one of them becomes a center back if you actually need it, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, sure. You got to if that's his position, sure. Maybe
you think Pablo Cisnega is like, actually, I'm a 10. Like they're coming out and like
Chiva. I mean,
you just don't make subs. I mean, he made what 2 subs this whole match.
Yeah, but again,
you don't always have to use all your subs.
But at the beginning of the season, he was using all of his subs, which is so crazy. Mm-hmm. Like he was using every single sub. Usually, you leave at least one in case of emergency, but he was using every single one. So it's crazy.
That's a good question for training. How about that? Like, hey, Mikey, we've noticed like maybe if it's on Thursday. Did we get the email yet?
Thursday. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go on Thursday. Are you gonna?
I think I may. Cause celebrating.
They're gonna practice on Juneteenth.
How dare they? It's native land. So
I don't even think they're having training actually because they have a week off.
They do have a week off.
Dang.
Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Anyway, happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day, apparently.
I think that also contributes to the fact that they're a lot more like match fit. I think earlier in the season, the team was still kind of catching up on conditioning and
Mhm.
getting that physicality that they needed. I think at this point, that team's kind of closer, if not at that level now that Mikey Vada's wanted them in, which could mean only 2 subs some games, only 3 subs. I mean, they won 4-2. You can't really say anything like, why didn't you use all your subs? They won 4-2. Like, what else do you want?
Yeah, no, they're doing things right. Don't let me forget that question, Abe. For Thursday, if there is availability, if there is. But all right, San Diego FC with this lineup right here, go into Minnesota, an away game. We predicted a loss. I think I was the only one that predicted a tie. Nobody predicted a
Yeah.
win. And I think that's a safe thing to do in this situation. Minnesota coming in, and this was kind of like what you heard, that this was going to be a battle where Minnesota doesn't care about the ball. Take the ball away from me. It's all yours. San Diego FC, what are you going to do with it? Are you really going to think through? Early on, San Diego FC had some defending to do. There were some spaces. There was a lot of runs, a lot of good through balls, and a lot of speed on the counterattack for San Diego FC to defend. And then obviously early on, you get the gaffe of the week there with CJ Dos Santos, Chris McVeigh combining for, talk about San Diego FC's best goal later, San Diego FC's worst goal conceded at this point. That one. But this game, again, to your point, Abe, about their marketing, like just like the annoying part of it is like, man, they were kind of right. Because Honor Dreyer is definitely in a state of flow. He's on a different level. He is what you paid for. If Chucky Lozano gave you this, you'd be over the moon, and his name would be everywhere in MLS, like literally ESPN. Aside from this game, from this goal, just like every time he does something, he'd be on the front cover of everything. But because of his honors dryers, it's not necessarily well known. Like, it's a little understated, but he is incredible, especially this season. Let me put some data to you.
Yeah, real quick while you pull that up, like in LA, I think that came up multiple times when I was talking with other people in the press box, where it's like, oh yeah, covering San Diego FC now. They're like, oh yeah, Anders Dreyer. Like, people around the MLS are going out of the way to notice, like, oh yeah, this guy is freaking really good. Like, it's not just the San Diego thing where people are noticing. Like, the entire league knows how good he is.
It's funny you mentioned that training sessions will be over 100 degrees very soon. Great conditioning for San Diego FC. Very true. On our end, we're doing our things at training. We're warning everybody who's not from San Diego, hey, June, July, June gloom, gray May. Wait for September. That's when the real heat is here in San Diego. But in any case, putting some data onto this, San Diego FC's honors dryer, you can see here from the data over on EpiRev, in the 98th percentile in a couple of incredibly important aspects here. Goals assisted, he's in the 97th percentile, 96 in just assists. XGs, he's pretty good at penalties. And non-penalty goals, 75 percentile. And then this is all compiled compared to position players, peers in the men's next 14 competitions over the last year. That's based on 2,958 minutes played this season. So, hey, look at that. We got some data up in here. That's cool.
Nice.
Nothing on the data, guys? Cool.
No. I mean, it speaks for itself. Like, you see it on his game. Like, he's probably one of the best players in MLS right now. Like, he's not the best, but he's up there. He's top 10 players in MLS right now.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the time we use numbers to reinforce what we already believe, and I think this also just reinforces, like, he is really good. There's a reason why he's your designated player. You're paying him a lot of money. He's probably honestly underpaid too. I think he was signed below his market value, like, from Europe, and at this point, he like teams from Europe might want him back, but also at the same time, it seems like he's perfectly content and happy here in San Diego. I remember when we signed him, Chiva kind of asked him that, like, oh, what was the decision behind leaving Europe? And he was like, I already did everything over there. Like, he already played in Champions League. Like, he already did what he wanted to do. And he's like, yeah, now I just want to take over here in the US or play here. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, he's playing at an unreal level.
No, he really is, and it's really really cool to see him train up close. Like, man, like the players do player things. Like whatever you and your pals do at training to get away from the gaffer, they do too. They just start playing long ball and just almost hurt everybody around them whenever somebody doesn't control it right, or just play foot tennis. Like it's really a great time.
Mhm.
But you see the quality in these moments from Anders Dreyer, and just being able to put a ball on a dime and on a pin. But going back to the game here, San Diego FC concedes a goal in the 38th minute, but as we will see here, it is called offsides. Could have been almost gaff. CJ, you got to parry that to the outside every time to the outside, please. But yeah, he's definitely this is a learning game, I think, for CJ Dos Santos for sure. As Minnesota just kept knocking on that door. There were definitely back and forth moments through this matchup. But ultimately San Diego FC was also able to come back and capitalize a little bit after. They were dangerous, a good stop here by the rookie goalkeeper. Again, 6'7", just didn't have to jump like at all. He just kind of stood there. But then, San Diego FC, to the annoying point that you're saying, Abe, a little bit, is like they just keep going. They just keep marching on, playing their style, wanting the ball. This, an offsides. Don't think so. But we saw
It's offsides.
it was offsides. This was something that definitely was a thing. I told you guys, look, penalty. Immediately.
Mhm.
Commentator kept saying, like, I don't know, it looked like it hit his face. Like, no, it's clearly like the left hand right there.
Oh.
VAR decides.
Yeah,
and
like there's no
agrees.
reason to raise your hand right there.
Yeah, no. The argument was like, well, where else are they supposed to put their hands? I don't care. Let it hit your face. Let it hit your face. 100%. Thank you. Great stats. Thank you, Jeff. I am good at math.
You're good.
Working on that soundboard. Penalty, Honor Dreyer with a left. Slots it in, and that's right there is pain as a goalkeeper. Let me tell you. That is misery. 2 goalkeeping nightmares in one game. I wasn't a fan of this game. Not at all. Not at all. These poor kids, they train so hard out there. This is they're living their dream, just to be exposed in such a way and almost.
This goalkeeper at this point hates Anders Dreyer. He made you look silly twice. Tony has to check on something, but he scores from midfield, then bottles a penalty, and it still goes through. This goalkeeper has probably like a dartboard, and it has Anders Dreyer picture on it, and he's just throwing darts at it, crying, because Anders Dreyer just honestly probably destroyed your MLS career. But yeah, no, I think something I wanted to mention about Anders Dreyer coming to MLS, right? It's very reverse of what a lot of players want to do, obviously. Like a lot of players want to go even to the Belgian league because it is a higher level, it's more competitive. I mean, you see Chino Huerta, who was called up for the national team as well, but he was Anders Dreyer's replacement. I really do think Anders Dreyer's plan is to eventually go back to Europe, maybe a bigger team in a way. MLS is getting a lot of media now attention with Messi here. Club World Cup is in the US. Gold Cup is here. Like MLS is getting all these attention across the globe that maybe a team or two that have a bigger name than Anderlecht and that's not from Belgium, maybe seeing, oh, wait, MLS, Messi's the best, right? Oh, wait, Anders Dreyer has more assists than Messi. Who is this Anders Dreyer guy? Let me look at him. Oh, hey, SDFC, here's an offer. I could potentially see that in a season or two.
A season or two, he stays through at least 2026 just because of the World Cup, too. I think that's probably something else in his head, too. Like, he's getting used to playing in the U.S. Like, he's going to have that kind of experience that he can share with his team as well. Just like, oh, yeah, I was in El Cajon in the summers. It gets really hot, I know about these specific areas. Like, and a lot of these guys are, like, traveling to different places for the first time. I think Darren Smith talked about it in like the match week show, where it's like a lot of these guys, like when they do a little walk around when they arrive to whatever city they're in, and for most of these international players, it's like, oh yeah, I've never been to Seattle before, I've never been to Minneapolis before, so it's cool for them to like get to experience America in that way. But yeah, like even these teams playing at a really high level, I don't expect Anders Dreyer to leave until at least 2027 at the earliest. But even then, like San Diego FC or another MLS team will throw him a bag to stay as a designated player.
There's
Yeah,
a
for
reason
sure.
why we're.
And again,
Sorry, I was just saying there's a reason why people pay so much rent to live in San Diego. People want to retire in San Diego. And somebody like Anders Dreyer, I can see wanting to retire in San Diego. Like even players like who are around the MLS who are just cashing it in, wish they can cash it in San Diego. Sorry.
you didn't listen to the text we just gave the total opposite of that.
No,
Like, yeah, I mean, I can see him
which is
wanting to
great
stay.
because that's how I think. That's exactly
I
what
can see him wanting to stay too, but I think, like I was saying, MLS is getting a lot of publicity. A lot of people are tuning in now because Messi's here, and you know, who says a team in the Premier League doesn't see Anders Dreyer outperforming Messi and seeing, oh, this guy's actually pretty good. Oh, let's try to get him after a great World Cup performance with Denmark. Like, oh, he's only 26, 27. That's awesome. Let's just sign him up already. I can see that happening as well, but he could stay and he could retire here. Like, why not? Right? He's making money. He's playing. He's getting international call-ups. Yeah, not a bad place to live.
Yeah, I retired here.
You think if San Diego FC ever has like a Hall of Fame like statue type player, do they put the statue outside of Snapdragon or in El Cajon?
El Cajon.
Yeah, that's the actual place where they kind of own. So
yeah,
that's
not
so
rented.
sad.
I don't think SDSU would allow an MLS statue.
That's so sad, dude. I know I brought this up like when we were talking about like after the Wave won the Shield and all that, but like these soccer teams don't get to have like any sort of like feel like they're just renting the place. And they really need a stadium of their own at some point.
If you're renting
in San Diego, the land will be rent.
if you rent an apartment, do you not decorate your apartment, Abe?
Yeah, they do decorate it, but then you take it down and it doesn't feel real. Like the decorations I have in my apartment, I mean, you take it all down and it's like, oh, it's nothing anymore. But at least
what were your decorations? Now I need to know.
You have to use renter-friendly stuff.
It's like
hold on. Now I need to know what was his.
It
what
was pretty
was
sad. It was like an empty wall. I had I put up a scarf that was Oregon scarf. I think I put my hats up too. I would just like put a couple not nails but like command hooks and just like put them like that. And then I just took them all off.
Such a dude.
That's a bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna freaking put up posters and stuff. I'm renting the place.
Why not? What? Just put tape on it.
Abe, San Diego is too expensive to own property, man.
Yeah, obviously,
It's
but
not like San Diego FC has that money.
Chargers Park, you have Chula Vista. They've been wanting to build something. At some point, I think one of these soccer teams are going to build a stadium. Either San Diego Wave and SDFC work together to build something. Like, I genuinely believe that's coming in the future, just because Snapdragon doesn't feel
I
like
can see that.
Like maybe not now, but like 30 years, 50 years down the line, it's going to happen.
And why not next to an amazing resort down in Chula Vista? A lot of space.
Maybe.
Milan Iloski.
Game kept going. Milan Iloski came on.
Milan Iloski is just something else right now. Manu says, hey, when's the Patreon coming? To get us to the World Cup? Very soon. For Milan Iloski to stay, that's not on me. That's on Tyler Heaps. No.
Yeah, Milan Iloski comes on. Great header. And again, a perfect ball from Anders Dreyer as well. You know, this guy, he's like people are saying in the chat, like he's the top assist leader in MLS with 9 assists right now. Like this guy is balling. This guy's goal contributions are insane for the club. And he keeps delivering passes like this. It's just phenomenal to watch. It's so much fun, to be honest, just watching Anders Dreyer play.
Yeah,
And you actually have a 9 that can finish. For now.
For now, a borrowed 9. You know, talking about renting. I mean, rent a stadium. Why not rent your strikers, right? Rent a striker. Milan Iloski, scoring on that one again. What a great cross you mentioned to Chiva. Here a chance, almost Iloski again. Iloski is just has a nose for goal, and he's in those right spots. And you know, he's not the tallest. He's definitely probably the quickest. He mentioned it. He's like in the post match press conference. He was like, "Yeah, no, like." Once I knew I took off, nobody's catching me. Like I know nobody's catching me. But yeah, that's just the confidence that he's playing with, and he knows he's on borrowed time. He mentions it every time that I ask him as well. But you know, it's something that has to be addressed at the end of the day. Did he get fouled there? Yeah, he gets a little shove there in that cross at the end, but that's never going to get called. And at the end, again, what a goal.
Tverskov goes down. Iloski got through the first defender, and he's got plenty of room to run into. Milan Iloski looking for a brace off the bench and to seal all 3 points, and he does just that.
He does just that.
And what a win for
Why not sign me? Literally.
Why not?
Why not?
It's crazy that he was like playing this well in the USL. Like he looked like a level above the competition. Like he looks not as dominant in the MLS, but he's still just like he has to score in every single game. Like, do you remember those Orange County matches? Like it felt pretty similar, right?
Yeah, like it's just eventually. Like thinking about like USL times, like the guy played in Galaxy Los Dos, Judd.
Okay, I don't remember that guy.
Last name Judd. He went to Galaxy 1 at some point. Okay. Sorry. We follow the San Diego soccer scene, very intently early on as well. Granted, you were in middle school, but it's okay.
Alvarado, he wasn't college, man.
For Galaxy, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, see, I remember some stuff.
Chiva,
but
you had something? ¿Por qué no?
¿Por qué no? Yeah. I mean, SDFC go on to win this game 4-2 against Minnesota. And like Tony said, none of us predicted this. Two of us predicted a loss. Tony predicted a tie. We all still got this one wrong because SDFC just proved everyone wrong.
Yeah.
Tony, you got to talk to Mikey Vadas and Milan Iloski post-match an hour after the game. What was that like? I don't know if you want to show anything, but just you did it from SoFi, man. Like,
yeah. Again, people just coming by for their 8th plate behind me, and catering was delicious. Just rudimentary burger, but you know what? Much better than paying $25 for a PB&J, as Conmebol had us do for Copa America at SoFi. All right, let's hear from Mikey Vadas.
I'm just so proud of the guys because we're missing some important players. We had some individual errors in the first half, but we were able to bounce back real quick, to just kind of release those the feelings of maybe making some mistakes or being nervous, and then refocusing on what we needed to do. And the guys can be tremendously proud of themselves because, man, they got a fighting spirit, but they're also so brave to just keep going. And this is a very good team we played against. And I think that especially the second half, we put together just an amazing performance.
Thank you. Now we're going to go to Tony.
Thank you, Vicky. Mikey, what can you say about this match? 18 games into the season against a tough opponent in their division. Is this a landmark victory? How are you processing this in the grand scheme of this?
Yeah, this is definitely a milestone because we talk about doing road performance and not being us everywhere we go, and believing that you can win points away, and it doesn't always go your way, but if you can put that performance together that gives you the best chance, that's really important. So that's a check mark because I think the guys came here and did fantastic with that. And then the other one is we talked about being a big squad, missing important guys, but next guy steps in and the guy knows what to do. The guy's got courage and the guy's got quality, and the guy has a good understanding and connection with his teammates. And I think those two things are really important, what we showed.
And then speaking of connection, stepping up, Iloski has been coming off the bench today. He gets a brace. What are these performances giving you or letting you know that he's in the right position or that he's fighting for that starting spot with his limited time? And do you have plans after July that include Milan Iloski?
Yeah, no, I mean, Milan's not going anywhere. He's obviously really important. I think he has the most goals per minute in the MLS right now. He's got a special quality. He always finds himself in good positions, and he's an extremely talented finisher. We're working on other things with Milan to make him a more complete player when you think about 90-minute performances. But he's got a tremendous character and growth mindset. He's super open to feedback and to being challenged. And, every position is open to competition all the time. So as long as you're willing to work for it and send the right message over a consistent time period, then you'll get your opportunities. But at the end of the day, he did a fantastic game, and he's been a great runner for him.
You heard that? Milan's not going anywhere. Se queda.
I was waiting for some point to just.
Se queda.
I mean,
he's pretty much saying that, right? Like
for him,
I
right?
think at this
For
point
him.
is
Like Ibarra speaking on
he's saying
Fox.
like he's not going. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. At the end of the day, it's Tyler Heap's job to get that done. The good thing is you have a good relationship with FC Northland. And I think the deal is very doable. So I obviously it's a no-brainer. I think everyone knows it. I think Tyler knows it. I think Mikey knows it. I think Milan knows it. It's just a matter if FC Northland wants to do it.
I think
Yeah, no, I mean, Milan's not going anywhere.
the toughest part for me, I think, is because the MLS roster rules with the salary cap and the GAM and the TAM and things that have that nature is why it's hard to kind of like add players mid-season. Like kind of you might have to drop someone if you do get Iloski, and like he's going to demand a high salary, I think, and he deserves a high salary because of how much he's proven he can do with San Diego FC and within the MLS. So you have to like figure that part out. That's probably why it's been gonna be taking a long time and wait until the end of the loan period maybe. But it's gonna be tough to like figure the way that all works out because I'm not sure how much money they still have left open to be signing players like that. And I don't think you just want to dedicate all your money to one player too. You still might want to reinforce the midfield depth. You might want to get another center back if you truly are going to trust these like teenagers to play in the fullback positions. It's okay, but like it's a little questionable. I don't know. It's hard.
Chiva?
You extend the loan, Abe. You extend the loan for the rest of the season, Abe.
Oh.
That's so stupid.
Is that where you were going at, Tony?
No, it wasn't. I was actually going to say and ask. So when, this was actually brought up, it came across my desk, that DP spot that San Diego FC still has. So do you then, I mean, you don't go out for an attacker anymore. You have the solution in Milan Iloski. So then that clears up a spot in a space for a defender in the DP spot. Your big signing, Andres Reyes, still missing in action somewhere. Is nowhere to be seen. Midfield, pretty all right. Maybe you're still loaning Celta Vigo as Luca La Torre. Sure, you still have that loan impending. So do you still need midfield depth? Where do you kind of use that? Milan Iloski, hey, you just kind of make sure that that's taken care of, and then you still have this other slot to work with. Like, I don't know. Like how much longer can San Diego FC go with such little depth too? Because they're one more injury away from being in a really, really weird spot again.
I mean, they're already having two goalkeepers on the bench. Like their depth is already being tested right now, and it's working out pretty well. But it's halfway through the season. Is this going to work all the way through the season? I tend to think yes, it will. They're going to make playoffs. They're going to be performing at a high level. I don't think they're going to be winning the Supporters Shield, just because that's a very tough thing to do with as an expansion side. But like this is a tough position that Tyler Heaps is in, and I think Esteban does make a good point that like he's only got a 375K market price. Like that's really, really cheap for a player that's like a striker that's performing at that level. But I don't know where this team goes for the transfer window. It's going to be interesting though.
Yeah, and a high price DP wouldn't be for depth. That just pushes everybody who's beneath him down, right? Like that's also creating depth. If you sign a DP in the midfield, that just means Alvarado isn't your automatic go-to choice with Godoy in there as well, right? Now you can maybe start using Godoy a little less. He's still a veteran, right? Those legs in the long season, yeah, maybe they're good in the first half, but what about in the second half? What does that look like? Is that something that's going to be an issue? But you have that depth. You have Alvarado to kind of go into whenever you need to as well. So, I mean, this is kind of on Tyler Heaps' desk now. Like that's what he has to kind of go ahead and navigate here. But yeah, and also there's a new cash for players initiative in MLS, something that never happened in MLS, where you just outright buy a player from another team with cash. Again, that's within MLS. Save that spot for the next window, perhaps. Need another ace, maybe.
Or
Maybe.
you go the 2 DP route and you get extra money that you can pay for other players.
And it's been working out. When Honors Dreyer is playing like 2 DP players himself, and then you can get a healthy Chucky Lozano back in there, and he plays just the role of 1 DP player. I mean, you pretty much got it settled. But where does this put Vartzen though? Like, so back to it, right? Does Iloski get the start? Does Iloski maintain as the super sub? Where do you keep him?
Have to keep him as a super sub.
It's competition. It's competition. I think you rotate it. I think you're obviously going to play the best player available. And if Iloski is on that hot streak playing well, you give him the start. And then you put in Varson as a sub or whatever you need to do after. But I think it's healthy competition. You actually have 2 true number 9s, where at one point you had none available. I'm sorry, Tomas Angel is not the guy. Like, he's not going to be the guy for San Diego FC. At least maybe not yet. Maybe not in the future. But at least you keep Iloski. Then you have true competition for that number 9 role, and you don't have to use Oni Valakari as a 9 anymore.
Very true.
That's a lot of gam.
It's a lot of gam.
A lot of gam, a lot of tam.
Let's hear from Milan Iloski. What does he think? You already heard head coach Mikey Varas. He's not going anywhere.
Kera?
Well, it might not be up to you, Mikey, come the end of July, which is next month. But what about you? What say you, goal scorer, Milan Iloski?
It was huge. We know that we were tied with points coming in, and it's a tough game going on the road before a little break that we have here in the schedule. So, we wanted to leave to the break with a very positive taste in our mouth. And the way the team fought through some adversity, and just kept pushing the whole game, setting the initiative, setting the pace. It's a big win for the team, and it's something that will push us on into the second half of the season. So, it was huge, and for me to get the goals, it's I'll keep pushing and keep going for goals every time I'm on the field. So, it's important for me to keep my confidence going and to keep helping the team.
Milan, on the confidence aspect, you've now scored 5 goals, including two games, including the Club America match, where you scored 2 goals. But can you just talk about maybe the work that goes in for the group to maintain that hunger, and you on a personal level, like how do you take from the group and learn from these guys to implement to your game and have the success you're having?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. It was easy for me to acclimate into this team. I knew a couple guys coming in from beforehand, so I think that sped up my process a little bit, and then just building connections with these guys over time. Someone like Anna's and me now, we have this great connection on the pitch, and we've played long enough with each other now, and we have an understanding where I know on like this header goal, I know my run. We've talked about this peeling run, and someone with his quality, it makes my life as a striker, as a goal scorer, so much easier. So I think it'll continue to get better, and my relationship within the team will keep growing, because it's a great group of guys, and for me to acclimate into it, it was so easy, and it's a group that really pushes each other. So we'll continue to grow and continue to get better.
Tony, go ahead.
Thank you. Milan, could you take me to that second goal? Obviously, very different from that set piece header for your first one, but you come and you pretty much do a solo run all the way from midfield. What did you see from there? Just entire leg, just a space to just take it on your own, and then just sliding it cool, calm, with composure.
Yeah, they were pushing to tie the matchup, I think. So I knew I recognized that they were sending more and more numbers, and I knew once I beat this first guy and I was a little bit isolated with the guy, I knew there was no one behind him on the last one. So, and I trust my pace. So I don't think anyone is going to catch me once I take off like this. So yeah, to be honest, I was just kind of coasting after I beat this guy, and then I had to cut back against the grain to keep them from being able to catch up and close the angle. So then the finish gets made easy by cutting back across them and opening the goal up. So these are all things that are like second nature to me now in so many years. And my dad teaching me this when I was a little kid and back home. So stuff like that is like second nature to me. So I knew when I cut back across the grain, it would open the goal up, and it made the finish a lot easier.
And then at final whistle, we saw you have a conversation with Tyler H. Can you take it to that, just a little bit of a, hey, see what happened here? Maybe I can stay, or what was that conversation about?
Yeah, I mean, I would, I'd love to stay, but ultimately it's not up to me. I think that's between him and, the staff and my agent. And, of course I'll have a say in it to decide my future, but I don't have much longer left. I don't know exactly how long, but, I'd love to stay. I love the club. I feel like I've gotten along with everyone in the locker room, everyone in the staff, all the staff from, the top to the bottom. So it's an amazing club filled with great people. So, for me, it's a dream to, every time I step on the pitch for this club. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will be talks with Tyler coming up, but we have also a pretty good relationship for some time now. So yeah, it'll take care of itself in time.
Thank you, Milan Iloski.
Thank you, Milan. He wants to stay.
Yeah, he wants to stay. Mikey wants to keep him. I think it's a matter of time and a matter of how. But I think it's safe to say that he is going to probably remain until the end of the season. At least that's what it sounds like. You never know. Anything can happen. Weird things have happened in soccer. So
I agree. Confident, borderline cocky goal scorer. Yeah, I like him. Like that's a cool. He's the bad boy in Karate Kid. He's not the role follower. He's gonna shove some other people down. When he needs to. So you watch out. I mean, on such an upside, he's already so good. Absolutely, and that's up to the agent at this point. Can they send Saidi away on loan if they keep Milan? I mean, first you got to make sure Saidi is match fit and able to play. Yeah, unfortunate what happened with him and his injury. But the thing about this is that San Diego FC, Milan Iloski, they need each other more than anything. As a thing, it needs to happen. It's an eventuality. But the question was, I just lost it. I lost the question, guys. It was a good question.
it'll come back to you. It's fine.
It will.
It'll come back to you. We don't need to predict for next game because we'll have a podcast before the next game against Vancouver. And we'll get a better idea of where everything stands. But anything else for San Diego FC, guys?
Yes, I remembered. There's only one reason, and I mentioned in the Chromaniacs every Thursdays here on the same viewing channel, San Diego Football. The only reason Milan Iloski is not a part of this squad the only reason you can point to is to say, I need him to cook more under the Right to Dream DNA. If that's the only viable excuse I could have thought of to why you don't sign him once again, because can you guys think of anything possible that would satisfy the fan base, that would be a reason, that even a PR, HR reason that they can point to other than, oh, well, I need to, if this is how good he was with this amount of time under FC Northland, imagine how good he'd be after a whole season. Just wait, guys.
I I guess you could say that, but at this point, with all the people that you have at San Diego FC that are helping in this development and in this style, I don't think you can say like, oh, it's gonna be a lot different up in Northland. Like, you're performing at a really high level. You're also performing in the United States, which is like where you're from, your hometown even. So it's really like, I think it's at this point probably the same level of development he would get there as here, and like they have to keep him. Like it would be insane if they don't keep him.
Do they though? Or here's the thing. Here, what's the bigger club in under Right to Dream? Who gets the number one? There has to be a number one, right? Do you send players from Right to Dream to from FC Northland to San Diego FC, or is the pipeline from San Diego FC to FC Northland? Because the success story has always been Kudus, who plays in the Premier League. So then Milan Iloski returns over to FC Northland, gets seen by Ajax, and Milan Iloski in 2 years' time is playing Champions League ball with Ajax.
I don't know. I mean,
I agree with Tony.
Dreyer Free's playing in FC Northland right now, and he's getting really good development over there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
It's hard to choose one side or the other, especially when the ownership is all the same too. It's all the same group of people that own San Diego FC and Northland. So I think a player like this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be the example, but this is going to show like, hey, it's cool and all that you're playing well in Northland, but you've kind of reached another level. You're going to stay up here in San Diego FC and perform really well in the MLS.
It's to the point here with Yepe and Marcus and Yepe getting sent over here. They're two best players. Well, that DNA is already impregnated throughout the entire infrastructure of FC Northland. Like, yeah, you give away your two crown jewels, but you're still working on the DNA for the future in there, and you need the two best of them to really make an impact and surround and found a team. Like, the founding of a team is different from the next season and the next crop of FC Northland over there. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this develops, right? The real test will be a San Diego kid that gets developed with his first class of San Diego FC and Right to Dream, and then they get sent over to FC Northland, and then you're like, hey, whoa, he was doing really good as a 16-year-old at Snapdragon Stadium in MLS. He was killing it in the Leagues Cup, and you send him over there. Like, I thought this was a partnership. Or you keep getting the Yepes, the Marcus, the Invarsons, the best of from FC Northland over into San Diego FC. So that's a long-term question. But yeah, good point. You know, SDFC should be the crown jewel. Yeah. More.
Also, I don't know if San Diego FC plans to get an MLS next team, or if like when that's happening in the pipeline. Because at a certain point, like if you're not going to have an MLS next team, then isn't just one of your sister clubs going to be your kind of developmental side for like at least on a professional level? Like that's what I would assume, right? Like maybe during the summer they play in the US, and then come wintertime they let them get even more development in Europe. Like it's gonna be weird.
Very true. All right. So Milan, he wants to stay. Everybody wants him to stay. Nobody wants Milan to go. But that'll be a decision for Tyler Heaps and company. It'd be interesting to see what the reaction is if he doesn't stay, from the fans, from people. Like, will they care? Will ultimate, like, this is kind of the first of this for San Diego FC too. So interesting to see how that develops. So anything else for San Diego FC? No, we'll be back with another game for next time.